When I turned 50 this year, it was like a big moment. I mean, probably one of the most thought-provoking years of my life. And it wasn't just turning 50 this year, it was leading up to turning 50. I have been thinking about turning 50 for the last 2 years and what it means, and using it almost like to have an evaluation of everything in my life as a reason to kind of stop and go, what am I doing? And how is my health? How are my relationships? Am I finding joy in the things I'm doing? Why am I doing things I'm not finding joy? It was such a pivotal moment that I knew when I was planning the next season of this podcast, I had to talk about it. I always bring to you all things that I'm going through. I promised when I started this podcast that I would never record an episode unless I wanted to talk about something that was going on in the world or going on with me, because I feel like that is, for myself, when I'm listening to other people and other podcasts, that's when I really get excited, is when the host is sharing something personal, and when the host is or interviewing someone who's sharing something personal. So I promised when I started this podcast, I was not going to record episodes unless I was sharing from the heart, unless I was really being transparent and honest in my life. And for me, this year has been a major reset. Major, major, major. Okay. And I wanted to talk about so many things that I have learned this year, turning 50. And I thought, man, it just keeps getting better and better. Like, this whole process of turning 50 has almost been like a recentering, a rebranding, just a life-changing moment. And if I'm going through it, there's probably other women out there who are, maybe they're in their mid 40s, maybe they're approaching 50, maybe they recently turned 50, maybe they're almost approaching 60 and they have lessons to share. So I'm so excited because this whole season, I'm going to be talking to women in their 50s who are powerful, amazing women doing phenomenal things. There's this whole message out there that when we turn a certain age, we're just, old. We can't create anything. We can't invent anything. We can't reinvent ourselves. We, aren't beautiful anymore. We have to be suffering from perimenopause, which I get. Like, we're going to talk about that. But this has actually been one of the best years of my life. I can honestly tell you that. The hardest last year and the year before, and the best this year. And I think it's because I really made some significant changes, like huge changes in my life that I'm going to share with you approaching 50. So we're going to be talking all about fierce at 50, like letting go and living free and what that looks like. And a huge piece of that are ending things coming to a close. I am going to be talking about that in my keynote address at the Brave Enough conference. If you are listening and you're like, man, I've always wanted to go to this conference, get there, get to the conference. I want you to join me in September, at the end of September, in the most beautiful, luxurious resort that we are going to be staying at in Scottsdale, Arizona. We're going to be going to the spa. We're going to be relaxing. We're going to be hearing from amazing speakers. And I'm going to be opening up the conference, sharing how important it is for you to end things. Yes, end things, quit things, let things go and move on, and how that holds us back, and all the psychology and the science behind why we as women find it so very hard to end things. Okay. So go to braveenoughconference.com, sign up. I want to see you there. You also get CME if you're a woman physician. You do not have to be a woman physician to join us. Just show up, grab a girlfriend, or come by yourself. You will meet a squad of women who I promise will just embrace you and lift you up. I hope to see you there. All right. I'm going to be sharing and just talking about and breaking down some pretty major things. The first thing that I want to talk about is the shoulds and the weight of should and who put it there. Okay. Most of us say the words, I should, or think the words, I should, from the minute we get out of bed in the morning until we put our feet on the ground to go to bed at night. We have this cycle of, I should get up and work out. I should pack my lunch. I should call my mom. I should check on my kid. I should answer my emails. I should. And we have been carrying invisible expectations as women for decades. How we should look, the things we should have achieved, how we should behave. We've been shoulding all over ourselves for our entire life. So when you get to a pivotal point in your life, maybe something has happened. Maybe it's an age like 40 or 50. Maybe it's when you have your first child, or maybe it's something painful. Like maybe you're going through a divorce. But when you go through these painful things or these kind of big life moments, a lot of times we often feel like it's a moment to take stock. It's a moment to pause and go, what is happening? Like, what is happening in my life? What am I doing here? Right? Like, what is actually going on? And am I doing the things I want to be doing? Or do I need to stop doing some things? And I want to ask you, if you haven't done that, to use this time right now. And I want you to ask yourself this really important question about the shoulds. What rules are you still following? And are they serving you? What rules are you still following? And are they serving you? I remember when I first started out as a physician, climbing this academic ladder. I work in academia. I had some goals for myself, and the goals were really set by other people. Some of them were set literally by the promotion and guidelines committee. Like, you should make it to assistant professor or associate professor in 5 years. Like, this was a goal of mine. Like, okay, the minimum time requirement to stay at assistant professor is 5 years. So in 5 years, I should make it to associate. And if I don't, I'm a failure. I'm going to be behind. And I better figure this out, right? Some of them were about money. Like, I should be saving this much money. I should have this much money in my bank account. I should get this role and then go to this role and go to the next role and have this like natural progression, right? These are the things that we tell ourselves, and often it's from other people or it's the system. We're in a system. And one of the biggest messages that I heard and I saw, and people say, well, did somebody tell you this? No, but you know how messages are in cultures, is behave yourself. Don't rock the boat. Don't be too anything. Don't be too loud. Don't be too forward. Don't be too bossy. Don't ask for things. And what I experienced was, when I would start to kind of tiptoe and ask for things, I would ask for a promotion. I would ask for a raise. I would ask for a role. The response back to me was always something like, you're too young. That's not for you. There's no money. Oh no, that's not appropriate to ask for that. Or you're not in this role. Only these people can ask for that. That's not how it's done, right? So I would get basically told no, or I would get pushback. And when you do that, it kind of solidifies this cycle in your mind as a woman that, oh gosh, I just stepped out of line. I shouldn't have asked, or I was wrong to ask. No one ever once said to me, not once, I love that you asked, because this shows that you're ambitious. It shows that you're a go-getter. It shows that you're a leader. And the answer is no this year, but now I know that you want this, and I am going to help you get it next year. I've never ever gotten that message out of all the leaders I've worked for and all the roles that I've had. It has always been, if the answer was no, it was like, not appropriate for you to be asking, or we can't do that. Okay. So it's interesting, because if it wasn't for my relentless ambition to keep asking and asking and asking, I probably would not, I know that I would not have advanced. I know, to the point that I have advanced in the workplace and in academia. But the feeling that I would always leave with was not, oh, this is great, just keep having ambition. That wasn't the messaging and the feeling I would receive. The feeling was always, you should not have asked. You stepped out of line. You're not, stay in your lane. This isn't good. And that cycle of rejection and feedback is so suffocating to women in the workplace. Most of us don't find ourselves asking again and again and again and again. And at some point, we either stop asking, or we leave, or we figure out another path for our own professional development or our own success. We redefine our success, which is basically what I have done. I have redefined my success. I have a business. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of things that fill my bucket because I was told no, 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 no so much that I finally just went, I'm doing this on my own. I guess I have to create my own success and my own path forward, which I'm so happy and blessed that I have done. But that should, those rules, those unspoken rules, they have held me back in my life in other areas. So the lessons we learn in one area of our life, we carry into other areas. And that's why even as an entrepreneur, I've had to learn like, oh, I guess maybe I should ask. Maybe I should go for this. Maybe I should collaborate and not wait to be asked. And I have to fight those, the rules that really kept me down, those shoulds. And I still struggle with this. Like, you should behave in this manner. Actually, this is how men in business behave. So this is how and successful women behave. I'm behaving this way in my business world. So you really have to evaluate and ask yourself, what are the rules that you're still following and are they serving you? Sometimes rules are great for us at certain aspects of our life, in certain time, in certain seasons, but they hold us back in others. So I want you to ask yourself, are there rules, invisible rules, unspoken rules, rules that you've told yourself that are holding you back? One of the biggest rules is that I hear that I see hold back a lot of my coaching clients, women that I coach at my retreats and conferences and in my coaching courses online, is money. It's a huge, huge shoulda. Like, you should have this much money before you retire. You should work full time because you should never leave money on the table, even if it's killing you. You should have this much saved before you go part-time or you retire. Well, you should take this job or stay in this job because it pays $50,000 more than this other job or $100,000 more than this other job, even if it's toxic and killing you. I think money is one of the biggest shouldas that we have silently in our brain that holds us in and traps us. And I'm going to be real honest. I've taken the last couple years pay cut more and more and more to work less and less in my clinical role and in my hospital job. It has cost me a lot of money. It should cost me money because I'm not working as much clinically. However, what I have gained, I can't even tell you. It has been amazing. I'm so much happier and healthier, not working as much clinical hours and killing myself than I have been in the last few years. I still work clinically, but it's less stressful and it's less hours and I'm making less money with that. And I am so happy. But for years I was like, oh my gosh, I can't cut back clinically. I still have 4 kids to put through college. I should work until I die. Okay. No one has ever come up to me and said, you should work until you die. No one has ever come up to me and said, you should be a full-time cardiac anesthesiologist until age blah. But I had those rules in my brain affecting decisions. And you may have those rules in your brain. And that's what's amazing about turning 50 this year is I am just kicking out those rules. I'm like, oh, no, we're not playing those rules. We are being brave enough to change the rules and throw them in the trash and write our own rules. The second thing I want to talk about is the liberation in shedding rules. Okay. Turning 50 is not about shrinking or fading or being less than. It's stepping into a season of authenticity for me. I feel so empowered to be 50 years old and I'm telling everybody I'm 50. I'm putting it on social media. I'm like not holding back. People are like, oh, you're telling a lot of people you turned 50. I'm like, should I not? Is there some big bad secret? Like, am I in some bad club that I don't want to be a part of? I don't know. Maybe I am and I'm just clueless, but I'm feeling really good. And I want to be stepping in and letting go of outdated roles. I am no longer a people pleaser. I am not here to make your life easier. That's not my job. I am not a fixer. I've always been a fixer. People come to me with problems and I'm like, I need to fix this person. And now I'm like, if you come to me with a problem, I will help you fix your problem. And I also have boundaries around who I do that for and what that looks like. I'm also not available for everyone. I know this is going to come as a shock, but I do not answer every single email. I heard a businesswoman the other day say, Oh, I answer every one of my emails. And I'm thinking to myself, bless you. That's amazing. That is not me. I do not answer every email that comes my way. I am highly selective on where I put my time. And sometimes my inbox is not where I'm putting my time. It's in doing other things. And I'm embracing identity well beyond titles and to-do lists. I have spent 2.5 decades working in academic medicine and being in academic medicine and training in academic medicine. And I have very much a huge appreciation for that. And I have loved every single second of it. And now that I'm 50, I'm really selective in how I show up in specific spaces and where I'm giving my time. And where I'm mostly giving my time is myself, my family, and my health. And I'm loving that. I'm loving shedding roles. Like, no one can take any role that you've previously had away from you. I hear this all the time. Like, I hear people say, oh yeah, he used to be this and now he's just this. And I'm thinking, just if you talk to him or her and he used to be the CEO or president of something and now he's just fill in the blank, he probably made that decision or she probably made that decision and she's loving it. She's now, able to enjoy more vacations or working less and taking less leadership or roles or work because he or she is wanting to spend more time on their health and their family. That is a win. I am telling you. So I'm not saying don't take on big roles. If that's what makes you happy, if that's what you want your next year to look like, and you're throwing off the shoulds for you means maybe doing less in your personal life so you can take on a bigger role, go for it. Like, I am here for it. I'm also telling you that the shoulds, like you should take this or you should do that, that has to stop. And it does stop when you turn a certain age. And I'm feeling the liberation of that and loving it. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is joy. I love joy. I love the word joy. I want more of it. I always say on this podcast, when women come to me, one of the biggest things they'll ask is, I feel stuck. I don't love my job, but I have no idea what else I would do. And I don't even know how to think about doing it differently. And I'll say, well, everybody had joy at one time in their work. We would not have chosen our work unless there was some joy. So follow the joy. Sometimes we don't need a new job. We just need a new mindset. I've experienced that. I've experienced that feeling of, oh my gosh, I am so burned out. I don't even want to go to work today. And I've picked the wrong job. Why am I a doctor? Woe is me. I've had that thought so many times. But what has changed for me is my mindset. I still have the job. I'm still a cardiac anesthesiologist. I'm still a leader in my department, but the mindset has changed. The mindset is I get to choose what brings me joy, and I'm going to follow that joy. I'm no longer following promotion, money, someone else telling me I should do this because I'm good at it. I follow the joy. Okay. And at 50, joy is like a revolution because you get to choose what actually brings you happiness without guilt or justification. And it's a radical form of self-respect. I'm doing things this year that I'm making moves that people are literally saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm following my joy. I am loving it. I am having radical self-respect for what I'm choosing. And this is the age of unapologetic delight. Let me just tell you a little story about yesterday. So yesterday morning, I got up and I had lifted weights really heavy 2 days before. So yesterday I wake up and it's like a tsunami of lactic acidosis. It's the only way that I can really describe it. Has this ever happened to you where you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I have the strength to roll over. I don't want to get out of bed because I know getting out of bed is going to activate my quads, my hamstrings, my abs. And I'm so sore that it's going to be 10 out of 10 pain for a split second. And when my feet hit the ground, it's going to be real bad. And when I have to squat to go to the bathroom, it's going to be even horrendous. Have you ever had that? Okay. If you have, just bear with me here. So I get up and I'm like, okay, I got to go downstairs and hit the gym. The last thing I wanted to do. So I went downstairs and I had this whole workout planned and I was so stiff. And I thought, what would bring me a lot of joy right now? what would feel really good to my quads and my hamstrings and my abs and my shoulders and my neck? Yoga and stretching and mobility. That's not what I have on the plan today. I plan to lift weights again, but this is what I really want to do. So I put on my 20-minute yoga and did a mobility for my hip flexors and my hamstrings, specifically in my quads. It was so good. I was sweating by the end of it, but I felt so warmed up and my muscles felt so loose. So I changed my workout and I did a little weight workout that was basically just body weights and moved my body. And man, I felt great after that. And then I was like, okay, I really should get to work. I need to, I had a million things to do that day in my office. And I was like, but you know what would feel even better than just jumping in the shower and heading straight to my office? Getting in the hot tub for 10 minutes, doing a hot soak. I did that. It felt so indulgent. I've never done that I've never seriously done that. I've never gone from my gym to the hot tub. I don't know why I've never done this. I did it. It felt indulgent. It felt joyful. My muscles felt even better after this hour of, yoga, stretching, body weights. Then I get in there and instead of popping 800 milligrams of ibuprofen, oh my gosh, my shoulders felt better. My lactic acidosis felt better. I was like, I'm going to do a slow roll to my office. I'm going to make my healthy snack. I'm going to fill up my water bottle. I'm going to make myself a coffee. I'm going to be shoulders down, not like high stress, which I normally am, rushing here and rushing there and throwing my bag down and doing this thing. No. I just had a slow, nice, relaxing hour and a half, 2 hours between waking up and getting to the office. And it was so delightful. And I thought, this is 50. 49-year-old Sasha would not have done that because I would not have given myself permission to do that. I'm doing that now and I'm loving it. Okay, that is joy. That is joy without explanation. I don't need to explain to anybody why I took an extra hour. Nobody needs to hear that or needs to know that, right? And I loved it. So I am reclaiming joy. And I hope that if you're listening, you ask yourself, how can I do some radical self-respect this year? What would that look like for me? What would unapologetic joy and delight look like? Maybe it's hiring someone to do your laundry. Maybe it's putting boundaries around your email and inbox and not emailing people at night. Or maybe it is getting help with your kids. Maybe it's taking a new class, exercise class or art class. Maybe it's going on a weekly date with your partner. I don't know what it is, but I am encouraging you to check it out. For me, it's yoga and the hot tub before I go to work. I mean, life-changing. Okay. Rewriting the rules and writing new ones. I talked about this a lot in my very first book I ever wrote, Between Grit and Grace. If you haven't read that, go to Amazon, download it, buy it. I really want you to read it because I talk about how for years until my early 40s, late 30s, I followed a set of rules that I made up in my head. I didn't like these rules. They didn't always serve me. They did. Some of them did. But eventually I realized I'm following this invisible book of rules that I don't even believe anymore. And instead of writing new rules and giving myself permission to say, those rules served me, now I'm going to write new rules. These are the rules I'm going to adhere to. Following joy, shedding roles, stop shoulding myself, all these things. When I started to say that, it was life-changing. So I want you to define what success looks like for you, what purpose looks like, what freedom looks like now. Because it's going to look different at every season of your life. Maybe in past seasons, you needed to set these hardcore boundaries and goals for yourself about your work or money or people or whatever. And it worked for you. And that's awesome. But now I want you to ask yourself, do those rules still apply? And do I need to rewrite them? And are there some things rules I need to throw in the trash? They're done. They're over. one of the biggest things often that we get sucked into is allowing other people to write the rules for ourselves. People in power over us, people in position over us, people of authority, people that we respect, people that we love. The hardest people to disappoint, I always say this, are the people we love, right? Our parents, our spouses, our kids, our family, our mentors, our sponsors, who have this thought and expectation of us, and it's not what we actually want anymore for ourselves, and it's not serving us. And we don't know how to have those conversations. We don't know how to be brave enough to say, this is not who I am, or this is not what serves me anymore. I'm going to do this. I'm pivoting and I'm stopping this, or I'm ending this. I want to just leave with this very specific call to action. I want you to ask yourself, are the rules working? And what rules are you holding on to based on someone else's expectation? You don't owe anyone the version of you that they built on their own expectations. You get to choose joy. You get to rewrite the rules, and you get to live fierce on your own terms. You don't have to be 50 to do that. You don't have to be 50 to do any of these things I've listed today, obviously. But I wanted to share with you that I'm doing this. This is what I'm learning this year. And I am loving 50 so far. If you are a woman who was like, man, I get this, I'm digging it, and I want more, I am going to be kicking off my upcoming course called Rise that I teach one time a year. It's an open call right now. We're launching the course. It starts October 5th, and it is an amazing, amazing course. It's 8 months long. You might be thinking that sounds so daunting, but it's not. It's 2 hours a month that you will participate in this course. And if you can't make the hour, no problem. We do every other week for eight months because everything's recorded. So I do not expect you to attend all the courses or classes. That would be nearly impossible. But I make sure that you can listen to them and that you have access to me. You also get one-on-one coaching with this course. And what you really learn are strategies to rewrite those rules, to stop the shoulds, to manage your time, to set boundaries that are meaningful for you. I also have you take 2 assessments in the class. One is about your personality and learning about what motivates you. The other is a wellness assessment on the different pillars and areas of your life. If this is something you're interested in, I would love to jump on a call with you. Send me an email, sasha@becomebraveenough.com. I would love to talk to you about it. I cannot wait to see so many of you at the Brave Enough Conference. Again, if you have not signed up, go to braveenoughconference.com. And remember to live brave and fierce.